Hello, and welcome to the House Table Pub. Today, we're going to be talking about Digimon Super Rumble, the MMO that Digimon fans have been asking for. We're going to do a bit of a basic rundown of some of the mechanics and just things I love about the game. But before we go into that, did you know that you can adopt your own slime? Right, if you go to AlyssandDusty.com, you can adopt your own slime. $5, you can adopt a random colored slime, and for $7.50, you can choose between one of 6 different colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, or purple. So go and get your slime today. Speaking of merch, stay tuned until the end of the video for a fun announcement. Now then, Digimon Super Rumble is an MMO that was released in 2022 in Korea. It came to America July 31st of 2025, so we got it a little bit later than the initial release. To this point, the only official MMO we had access to properly was Digimon Masters Online, which I've made my point clear on quite a few times. Digimon Super Rumble, however, is an MMO that I've come to love. Why is that? Well, let's start off by talking about mechanics in Digimon Super Rumble. And first, we're going to talk about the battle system. Now, the battle system is a form of active time battle. The battle doesn't stop while you go through menus to select the options of attacks and items and all that. Instead, your Digimon has 1 to 4 attacks it'll use, whichever is set as the active skill. You can change which attack they default to, though if they have 0 SP, which are skill points, they'll default to their first skill, which doesn't use any SP. You select moves in between their turns, and while they're acting, it waits till the next turn to select it. But otherwise, the battles are fairly automatic. Something else you can do, however, than selecting the moves, is that the tamer is also able to use items as long as they have Digivice Cage. You can see it down here. As the bars fill up, you are able to use items. Now, there are times where the camera might make it a little hard to see who you're targeting. You can easily either press tilde on the key, which changes the camera, but you can also just use the numbers on your keyboard to change who you're targeting. Now, something that's harder to get a screenshot of for me is chain attacks. When Digimon attack, there is a chance that a small little prompt will come up. Click the prompt, and a Digimon of yours will follow up the attack with one of their own. A nice bit of synergy to be able to have your team following each other up on their attacks, and makes it feel more connected than just selecting their attacks and letting it run. Now, let's talk about your Digimon. There's going to be quite a bit of information here. This is your Digivice screen. You can see all the Digimon in your party, and if you click them, you get access to their stats, which most of are fairly self-explanatory. Max HP is their health, max SP is their max skill points, strength influences their damage, defense influences how well they defend against damage, speed affects their turn order, but then there's 2 less obvious ones. Intelligence influences the ability to inflict criticals as well as a damage range for their skills, while resistance influences being hit by criticals, basically lowering the rate, as well as being inflicted by statuses. Under the attributes are experience, HP, SP, and EVP. EXP is experience, which is used to level up. HP is health, SP is skill points, and EVP is evolution points, which we'll get into in a little bit. You can see attributes. My Mega Seedramon resists wind damage and cannot be evaded, and you can see field type, which for Mega Seedramon is Deep Sabers. Big shock. The next tab on the Digivice is Skills. Here you can see your skill info and upgrade them using skill enhancement stones that match the stage of the Digimon, such as, champion enhancement stones, rookie enhancement stones, etc. Enhancements also cost bits, as many loading screens are one to remind you. Now, something to keep in mind is that skill enhancements are not guaranteed. Down at the bottom, you can see the percentage of success, failure, and degradation on the bottom. Now, degradation means that it'll go down a level, where success obviously goes up a level and failure does nothing. The next screen on the Digivice is the potential screen. Here, you can give your Digimon bonuses. You unlock a quadrant at a time from Rookie to Ultimate, at which point you have all 4 quadrants unlocked, and then Mega gives an additional page. Now, if you click Create, you'll get a single potential block, which comes in any of the forms you can see here, and they all have one of the stats as well as a bonus of 1 to 4%. These are either their normal stats, or it could be criticals, evasion, or chains. Now, the last page is just a ranked version of the potentials page, where all the attributes are listed at 3% and you have unlimited access to how you want to build your Digimon. I'm glad the rank system just says go for it and doesn't say you have to grind for it. Now, what would a Digimon game be without Digivolution? No clue, because we have Digivolution here. It is a little bit on the random side though. See, each Digimon has a few possible evolutions, one of which being a mutant form that removes the level cap but stays in that form unless you use a mutant cure. Each evolution has some percentage that determines the chance of you getting it. There are ways to influence this percentage, but it's not always too much. Broken cores, which can be earned by defeating the Digimon, increase the percentage by a fairly small amount, whereas intact cores just allow you to choose whichever Digimon you want. Megas require an item called an Evoluter, and other than Ultras are the only stage I'm aware of that requires specific stats. There are also Ultra Digimon, or alternate forms that are available that follow the same kind of requirements. But you don't just Digivolve and keep them in higher forms. Not unless they mutate. Your Digimon will have an attribute, EVP, as we discussed before. These are evolutionary points. Each battle you do with a stage above Rookie uses EVP. Once EVP hits 0, the Digimon Digivolves back to its Rookie stage. You can either use items to raise EVP or do battles in your Rookie form, though keep in mind Rookie forms do have lower stats. Once you hit a high enough level, you can easily just go and do lower level daily quests with your Rookies to get a bit of the EVP back while still doing daily quests, but you can also go to do some of the Chumon areas such as Dragon's Eye Lake and just let them attack you while your Rookies one-shot the Chumon and raise your EVP back to full. Now, as I said, there are items, but unless you're pressed for time in the middle of a dungeon or you're streaming the game and don't really want to AFK, not really a need to use them, but they are good to have. Digi-eggs are part of evolution as well. See, every day you can interact with the World Tree, which is currently a cake, and get a free Digi-egg. Some quests will give you Digi-eggs, the Gathering Tree on your island can randomly give you eggs, and some shops will randomly sell them for a special currency. Digi-eggs will either give you a baby Digimon, in-training Digimon, or in some cases, they'll just give you a Rookie. You can hatch up to 3 eggs at a time without spending some extra money on your island, the island is determined on character creation. Unfortunately, I got Junk Isle on my creation, and while there are cash up items that allow you to randomly change the island, you may want to just save up and get the Premium Isle cash shop ticket, which gives you special isles that have bonuses. Now, while on your Digimon Isle, any Digimon that you have in storage is just going to roam around, and any baby or in-training Digimon you're raising also will be roaming around. There is a gathering tree, as I had mentioned. You can interact with this once every hour, and it gives you either random food or Digi-eggs. And each day, you should always make sure to feed and play with whatever baby Digimon you have running around, as they will run away if you don't care for them properly. The food you feed them will raise their attributes, so keep that in mind when deciding how to feed your baby and in-training Digimon. When your Digimon's growth index, the green bar, is full, you are able to Digivolve them. I say able because realistically, you can just keep them there and feed them and play with them until you decide, yeah, I want to Digivolve them now. Baby Digimon go to in-training Digimon as expected, and then in-training to Rookie, and it takes about 3 days to Digivolve from one stage to the next while they're on the island. If you aren't trying to feed your Digimon a ton of the foods that'll increase their attributes anyway, because if you are trying to do that, it will take a little bit longer. Now, much like all MMOs, there are a couple of key things that you would expect. First off, there is a crafting system, though it is a bit on the simpler side, and there is a recipe that makes me giggle because I am just extremely immature. It does involve mostly just crafting consumables, but I definitely suggest raising it because there are items later on in the game for Digivolution that are required to be crafted. Now, you aren't able to use items gained from leveling up or promotions in your crafting recipes. They need to be items gained from quests or in-game stores. There are a lot of important items, as I said, that you may need to craft for some of the stronger Digimon, and taking that little extra time to increase the crafting skills, not a bad idea. In addition to crafting, another common expected MMO thing, there's a guild system. Starting a guild does take quite a bit of money. I don't remember the specific amount, but I do remember that my community did front up a good amount of it, and it requires at least 5 people willing to join your guild. Now, because I was offline for a long time due to personal life events, the ownership of the guild did actually get passed to a trusted member and one of the people who helped me found it, and quite frankly, I'm not even all that upset. Since I wasn't online, the guild would have been stagnating without an active guild leader, and this just allows the guild to continue thriving even when the guild leader has to disappear for whatever reason. Now, guilds have missions, which can be used to raise their rank, as well as contributions to the guild can be made so that it can activate guild skills. Currently, our guild only has 2 available, EXP 1% and EVP 1%, and while these are nice small buffs, I'm really hoping the higher ranks give us more skills to learn, as the UI makes it look like they should. There are tons of mechanics, and ultimately I suggest learning them as any time that they come up, since they may become more ingrained in what you do naturally if you do them from the start. Now, I'm not going to go into the story itself, but I am going to touch on it a little bit. All I'm really going to say is it is a retelling of Digimon Adventure 1 with your character as the protagonist. The character creator is a little bit on the basic side, but there's nothing wrong with that. My only wish is that we had a couple more free outfit options, as unless you go into the cash shop, you're going to wind up wearing the same thing. Now, this game is one of the first times I've personally gone on and spent money on the cash shop, and I plan on doing so again at some point. I'm glad I did, though, because I'm obsessed with my character's look. I was kind of aiming for something akin to my Alpha Abyss look, and I got as close as I could for now. And why did I do this? Because I love taking pictures in this game. I love going to areas, hitting Shift L to remove the UI, and just screenshotting whatever I'm looking at. Which brings me to the announcement. We're going to do a photo contest, starting on Thursday, 12/18 at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, and going until January 1st at 12 p.m. You can go to my website, AlyssandDusty.com, and submit photos taken within Digimon Super Rumble. Do not edit these photos, submit them as is. Then, the winner will be chosen by myself and a secret panel of friends, and that person will be given a coupon for a free Alpha Abyss hoodie. You just need to pay shipping. Again, you have to pay shipping on the hoodie, but otherwise it will be free. Now, keep in mind, this is a panel of people, so you can't just win by picking Betamon. But here's a couple of things that you might want to consider. Composition of the photo, how appropriate the area is for the Digimon, because we don't want to make our partners suffer just so we can get a picture, and just overall how much we like the picture. Now, that said, as there will be a panel of judges, like I said, Betamon may not win, and just trying to play to any one of my friends' favorite Digimon, like picking Agumon if you think Van might be in the panel, might not get you very far. I wish good luck to all participants, and I cannot wait to see your fantastic pictures. Now, that's all I have to say about Digimon Super Rumble. It's a fun game, and I'll be adding it back to my streaming rotations because I've been missing out on a bunch, and quite frankly, I miss playing this game. Thank you so much for watching. Maybe drop a subscribe if you're new here, like the video if you enjoyed it, and let me know down in the comments below if you're looking to play Digimon Super Rumble. If you haven't joined yet, consider using my referral code, which is on the screen here somewhere. I believe you get a free Demi Vmon or Chibomon egg and a few other things to help you get started. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.